Welcome to today's Catholic Daily Readings from Christus Dominus Bread of Life. A reading from the second book of Samuel. Then all the tribes of Israel went to David at Hebron, and they said, "Behold, we are your bone and your flesh. Moreover, yesterday and the day before, when Saul was king over us, you were the one leading out and bringing in Israel. For the Lord said to you, You shall pasture my people Israel, and you shall be the leader over Israel." Therefore all the elders of Israel went to the king at Hebron, and King David made a covenant with them at Hebron in the sight of the Lord, and they anointed David as king over Israel.
Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord. I rejoiced when they said to me, "We will go up to the house of the Lord." Now our feet are standing firm within your gates, O Holy King, O Jerusalem, city of promise, stone upon stone in unity. Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord, where the King of ages reigns in majesty. Lift the gates, ancient doors, that the Lord of glory may enter in. To you the tribes ascend in wonder, the tribes of the Lord Most High. Here they give thanks to your holy name. Here judgment seats of David stand. Here the throne of the Messiah waits, hidden within the wounds of Christ. Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord, where angels thunder hymns of victory. By your cross you claim the nations, by your blood you open Zion's gates. O Christ the King, firstborn of all creation, image of the unseen God. Through you all things were made, thrones and powers, earth and heaven. Your kingdom rises from the wood of the cross, and paradise opens at your word. Rejoice, O gates of Zion. Rejoice, O people of the King. The Lamb enthroned in scarlet flame draws every tribe into his light. Peace be within your walls, O holy city. Peace to all who seek the face of God. For in your courts the nations gather, and every knee shall bow. Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord, where Christ the King is lifted high. Let every heart proclaim his glory. Let every soul return to his throne. Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord, where death is shattered and the kingdom stands forever. Let us go us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord.
A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Colossians. Let us give thanks to the Father, who has made you fit to share in the inheritance of the holy ones in light. He delivered us from the power of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For in him were created all things in heaven and on earth, the visible and the invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. He is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he himself might be preeminent. For in him all the fullness was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile all things for him, making peace by the blood of his cross, whether things on earth or things in heaven. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. And the people were standing, watching, and the leaders were mocking him with them, saying, "He saved others. Let him save himself, if this is the Christ, the elect of God." And the soldiers also mocked him, approaching and offering him vinegar, and saying, "If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself." And there was also an inscription written over him, "This is the King of the Jews." Now one of those crucified criminals blasphemed him, saying, "If you are the Christ, save yourself and us also." But the other, responding, rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, even though you are in the same condemnation? And certainly we justly, for we have received what is worthy of our deeds, but this one has done nothing wrong." And he said to Jesus, "Lord, remember me when you enter into your kingdom." And Jesus said to him, "Amen, I say to you, this day you shall be with me in paradise." Join us for today's reflection. Today is the last Sunday of the liturgical year. We end it by celebrating Christ the King, not Christ the teacher, not Christ the healer, not Christ the friend, Christ the King, because kingship means total authority, complete sovereignty, ultimate rule over everything. We're declaring that Jesus has authority over your life, your country, your government, your money, your future, everything. That's what this solemnity means. He's not one voice among many. He's the King. But look at where we find him, hanging on a cross, mocked, dying. The inscription above his head reads, "This is the King of the Jews." That's the scandal. We celebrate his kingship at the exact moment when worldly eyes see only defeat, when his authority looks like weakness, when his sovereignty appears to be ending. You want a king who uses power to save himself. Jesus refused. That's the entire point. The rulers stood sneering. He saved others. Let him save himself if he is the chosen one. The soldiers mocked. "If you are King of the Jews, save yourself." Even the criminal beside him reviled him. "Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us." Everyone demanded the same thing. Prove your king by coming down. Use your power. Save yourself. That's what kings do. They protect themselves. They use authority for self-preservation. They prove their power by escaping suffering. Jesus stayed on the cross, not because he couldn't come down, because coming down meant abandoning you. Saving himself meant losing you. Proving his power meant proving he didn't actually love you. The cross forces a choice. Either he's king who saves himself, or he's king who saves you. He can't be both. He chose you. He stayed there bleeding while everyone screamed at him to come down, not out of weakness, out of love. Because kingship that saves itself isn't kingship worth having. Authority that protects itself can't protect anyone else. Power used for self-preservation can't rescue the perishing. The other criminal saw what everyone else missed. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. He recognized the dying man is king precisely because he refuses to save himself. The cross isn't defeat, it's the throne. And staying on it when everyone begs you to come down proves you care more about them than yourself. Today you will be with me in paradise. That's the kingdom, opened by a king who died, entered by recognizing that his death is his victory. The criminal did nothing to earn paradise, no good works, no religious credentials, no lifetime of faithfulness, just recognition of the king and a request to be remembered. That was enough. because the king's blood does what the criminal's effort never could. This mirrors exactly how David became king. The tribes came to him saying, "You led us when you had no crown. You fought for us when you gained nothing. You protected us when serving yourself would have been easier. You shall shepherd my people Israel." They made him king after he proved he cared more about them than himself. Jesus does the same thing on the cross. He proves he's shepherd by dying for you. He demonstrates kingship by refusing to use power for himself. He establishes his kingdom not by conquering enemies but by dying for them. Real kingship serves. False kingship demands service. Real kingship sacrifices. False kingship demands sacrifice from others. You're already in that kingdom right now. You were transferred from darkness the moment he refused to come down from the cross. His blood didn't just pay for future salvation. It brought you into his kingdom right then. Where everyone saw defeat, he was conquering. Where everyone saw weakness, he was reigning. Where everyone saw death, he was giving life. Here's what makes it scandalous. The king bleeding on the cross created the soldiers mocking him. He made the criminals beside him. He grew the tree the cross is built from. Everything exists through him and for him. The creator of the universe is being murdered by his creation, and he's letting it happen, not because he has to, because it's the only way to reconcile everything back to himself, making peace not by force but by sacrifice. That's not the kingship you wanted. You wanted power that protects itself, authority that demands service, strength that refuses weakness. You wanted a king who fixes your problems without requiring anything from you, who establishes his kingdom by making your life comfortable, who proves himself by giving you what you want when you want it. You got a king who proves love by dying, who establishes kingdom through sacrifice, who saves you by refusing to save himself, who calls you to take up your cross and follow him to your own death. That's why you keep asking him to be different, because following this king costs everything. One criminal recognized it and got paradise today. The other demanded self-saving and got nothing, because a king who saves himself can't save you. Only a king willing to die can give you life. The difference wasn't their crimes. Both were guilty. The difference was whether they recognized the king on the cross beside them. Which one are you, still demanding he come down from the cross, still waiting for him to prove kingship the way you think it should be proven, still wanting a different king who uses power for comfort instead of calling you to carry your cross? The house of the Lord is built on the cross. You stand in the kingdom because the king died. You rejoice not because he came down, but because he stayed on it, because saving you mattered more than saving himself. This is why we celebrate Christ the King today, not to make Jesus one option among many, to declare he has total authority over everything. Your politics, your money, your relationships, your future, all of it belongs to the king. And the king proved his right to rule by dying for you on the cross. He's already king. The question is whether you'll recognize it.